on the global front now. Shares of tech giant Apple surged after its second quarter earnings were slightly above Wall Street expectations. The company also announced a $110 billion share buyback, which is the largest in US history. Apart from the buyback, Apple CEO Tim Cook on the earnings call also spoke about the potential that Apple sees in the Indian markets. Hormaz is here to tell us more on this and give us some interesting insights into the record buyback announced by Apple. Hormaz, over to you.
Well, if we were to make a list of people who are bullish on India, we would definitely put Tim Cook right on top, because he's always been extremely bullish when it comes to his commentary on the Indian markets. Now, on the earnings call for Apple, the CEO mentioned that the Indian market saw strong double-digit growth in their quarterly performance. Although he did not specify the number, but he did mention that it was a strong double-digit growth. The new March quarter revenue was a record high for Apple, is what he said. And as always, as he has been maintaining all through, he mentioned that India is an incredibly exciting market and a major focus for Apple going forward. And that is also taken into consideration, considering the slowdown that the Chinese markets are seeing for Apple. And he also spoke about producing within the country to be competitive in the Indian market. So he spoke about the Make in India focus as well for Apple, and he said that he's seeing enormous opportunity in the country. Now, what is Apple doing here is that they are expanding their channels and working on the developer ecosystem within the country, so that they can and they are also seeing a rapidly growing base of developers within the country. So he remains pretty excited and bullish on the prospects for the country. When it comes to the results, Apple reported a 4.5% drop in overall revenue for the quarter, but that was not as bad as the street feared. So the numbers were still above estimates. Globally, the iPhone sales were also down 10%. But what spurred the stock higher in after-hours trading was the buyback announcement that Apple made. It was $110 billion that it announced, the quantum of the buyback, and this is the largest ever in US history. And if we take a look at the top 10 buybacks in US history, the top 6 belong to Apple, and that range from anywhere between $90 billion to the $110 billion that it announced last night. And 3 of them belong to Alphabet. So 9 out of the 10 belong to the big tech companies, and 1 is Chevron, which also announced a $75 billion buyback a couple of years ago. So all in all, the numbers were not as bad as feared, but strong commentary coming in from the Indian markets from Tim Cook's table. Back to you.
All right. Thanks so much, Hormaz, for that. And biggest takeaway is that Tim Cook is very bullish on India. And of course, because we all are carrying Apple right here, it's a big market that he's looking at. Thanks so much. All right, moving on there.